So Zynga seem to finally be marketing Star Wars Hunters a little bit more than normal lately. It could be a really good sign of launch coming soon, or it could also be more nonsense from them. And today I pretty much wanted to go over both of those perspectives to give you guys an idea of what this could mean for the future of the game. Now, before we get into it, if you guys are Star Wars fans, which if you've clicked on this video, I'm going to assume you are, be sure to go and check out fineeditionsabers.com. They've got an amazing range of quality lightsabers for sale. This one you guys can see on screen is the Sentinel, which is a replica of Obi-Wan's lightsaber. It's honestly such high quality. I own 5 different lightsabers, and honestly this is better than even the Disney ones from Disneyland itself, and I could not recommend them anymore. So if you are interested, be sure to go and check them out, and if you do end up buying any, be sure to enter the code SAMMY at the checkout for 10% off your order. But with that being said, let's get stuck into the video. So for those who missed it, almost 2 weeks ago now, we did actually get another update for Star Wars Hunters. Now the update was actually really solid. It added a new hunter called Char, a Trandoshan trapper. It added a Death Star inspired map, a new game mode called Trophy Case, which is a really fun mode that pretty much is like you've got to capture this little droid, and as you're holding it, you'll get points, and the first team to 100 wins. It added a heap of new cosmetic items and a heap of fixes and improvements as well. Overall, it was a very, very solid update. Now, ever since that update, the game has been getting a bit of a marketing push on Twitter. Now, prior to this update, the Zynga Twitter account, or the Zynga Star Wars Twitter account, had 6 tweets since October 2022, almost a year ago now. In the last week, they've then had another 6 tweets, equaling in 1 week the same amount of tweets in the last 11 to 12 months prior to that. That is obviously a very good sign, the fact that they've pretty much doubled their initial amount of tweets in a yearly period in just the span of 1 week. That is obviously a very, very good sign. It could point at the game starting to sort of gear up for its official launch soon, because obviously we all know, we've all been around the gaming industry long enough, when they start to really market a game, that means it is obviously very close to launching, and generally that sort of marketing push comes within the roughly 3 months prior to launch, sometimes a bit sooner, sometimes a bit later, but generally it is around that sort of 3-month period when they start to at least constantly be putting out trailers and little bits of promotion and stuff like that. Like I said, that is obviously a good sign, but I do also want to bring it to your attention that this has happened in the past, and it doesn't necessarily mean it will be launching anytime soon. In the month of June 2022, they did also have 8 tweets that month with the same sort of marketing, showing off like the new hunters. There was some new abilities they changed, and even just showcasing some abilities from original characters that hadn't changed yet, which also kind of made it seem like launch was pretty close. If they're just releasing, videos on the new characters, at that point the new hunters were Scorer and Sprocket. If they were just promoting those guys, it was kind of like, okay, they've added some new hunters, obviously they're going to promote them. But when they were showing off the abilities for J3DI, who's been in the game since launch, that did really feel as though, okay, they're probably gearing up for launch here. They're showing off all of the characters for those of us who haven't played, so they must be trying to, I guess, get everyone ready and let everyone know what we can expect. And what do you know, that was June 2022, and the game is still not out in September of 2023. So although, like I said, it could be a really good sign that the sort of marketing has geared up lately, it does not at all confirm that the game is going to be launching soon, simply because they have done this in the past and it essentially led absolutely nowhere. So what this means for the game, I'm still honestly not too sure. The optimist in me wants to say that all of this recent marketing means the game is likely going to be on its way soon. They're marketing the game to be prepared for launch, and they're going to try and get some traction going behind all of that marketing. While the pessimist in me, which to be honest, Zynga essentially created themselves, because I've never really been a pessimist until this game has been delayed 47,000 times. The pessimist in me thinks the game could honestly still be a while away. The fact that it was meant to launch in 2021 and it is still without an actual release date, they've said 2023, but we're obviously nearly in October and the game is still not here. That does not fill me with confidence. And so even with that date still saying 2023, I'm not sold by that, to be honest. I do think there is a chance we'll get that, and I think it would make sense. The game is in a very good state. They've just added another really big update. So 2023 does still make sense, but like I said, there's not that long left. And realistically, if this current marketing they're doing is not gearing up for launch, then I don't know when the hell the game is going to launch, because like I said, in the past they have done this and then it was, it's still not out to this day, even though that was well over a year ago now. Now, you'd think if they are going to delay it until early 2024, which I'll be honest, that would be so annoying if they've 3 years in a row delayed the game. That would be the most frustrating thing ever. But I will say, if they are going to delay it, you would think that that announcement would have to come soon. They're not going to leave it until like the middle of December and then be like, oops, we're going to be launching this game next year. We obviously know if they are delaying it, they will surely have to say that within the next month, maybe by at the latest the middle of November. But even that, I think, is pushing it to pretty much avoid the backlash. They're going to have to announce it soon if they are going to delay the game, which, like I said, if they're doing all this promotion and then in like a week they announce they're delaying it, that is obviously also not going to end well for their marketing team. So I do tend to think that this is a positive thing. I don't think they'd be doing all this promotion for the game and then be like, oh, we're going to delay the game until 2024. I do think that there is a solid chance the game is finally going to be launching later this year. But with that being said, as I mentioned, they've kind of burned me enough times in the past now that until I see it, I'm really not going to believe it, unfortunately. Either way, I hope that they really do just hurry up with the launch. The game is in a good enough state. I know that they're trying to get the game to be as good as it can be, and that is a good thing. I want games to launch properly. We've seen so many failed launches over the last like 2 to 3 years now that I want this game to launch well. I'm not telling them to rush it out or anything like that, but the game is in a good enough state that they could absolutely launch it, and it's not going to get backlash. It's not going to be, you know, getting people saying, oh, this game sucks at launch. They've rushed it out or anything like that. They've done the entire opposite. They've taken too long with it, in my opinion. These updates where we're getting a new hunter, a new map, and all that kind of thing, they should be doing that when the game is actually out, because this update, like that Death Star map, that is a huge selling point, and literally no one cares because we can't currently play the game now. Obviously, a lot of us can. The game is out on iOS and Android in different regions. I've been able to play the game for nearly 2 years now, but not everyone can play it. And so a lot of people are very frustrated that why is there this new map coming in a freaking Trandoshan Hunter, all of this cool content, and it's not even out yet. That's the part where I do think they've actually just done the opposite of rushing a game, and they've taken way too long with it. All they needed to do was get the game to a good state, launch it, and then give us this content afterwards. So like I said, the game is still sort of up in the air in terms of whether it launches in the remainder of 2023 or if early 2024 is the more likely scenario. I honestly have absolutely no idea. Generally with gaming stuff, I feel like I have a pretty good finger on the pulse with a lot of stuff like that, but honestly with this game, I just genuinely have no idea. This game could launch in 2027. That is how erratic this game is. I honestly have no idea what it's doing. So I thought I'd fill you guys in on what I guess take from all the recent marketing, but realistically at the end of the day, the answer is I don't really know what it means. So take that as you will. I'm keen to hear what you guys think as well, so be sure to leave your own thoughts down below. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and may the force be with you always.